Hey, Will Carroll here. Let's do a little bit of video UTK. Got a couple guys to take care of. And since we didn't do a regular Under the Knife at Baseball Prospectus today, let this be the kind of fill-in gap. Okay, first one we got to talk about Jamie Moyer. Forearm problem. His manager compared it to J.A. Happ's problem. And certainly that one's taken a while, and Happ has had problems getting back. Now, it's right here in the flexor mass, so this is something that can really be a problem. Now, with Moyer, it's even more difficult because he's a guy who he's just not like anybody else, and that's definitely a compliment. It's not like he's going to lose velocity. We don't know how low he can go and still be at least close to productive. So this one's going to be interesting to watch. There's really no comps for Jamie Moyer in any way, so we'll just have to sit back, let him show us. Once he gets out there, once he starts getting back on the mound, we'll have more of an idea on the timeline. Manny Ramirez back on the DL for the Dodgers, re-injured the calf in a different location. This is a compensation injury more than it is a regular re-injury. It's not that he did the exact same thing. It's that what he was doing as compensation, if you get a rock in your shoe, you'll limp. And sometimes that limp can be a problem. We've seen that with Josh Beckett, who's going to be back on Friday. They had to shut him down because what he was doing to help his back was injuring his shoulder. This is the same sort of thing. He wasn't walking right. He wasn't running right. Whatever it was, he wasn't doing it right. And now another strain inside that calf. It's probably going to be 15, 20 days. Think about this the same way you thought about Jimmy Rollins. Obviously a very, very different skill set. But you saw Rollins, they were a little conservative with him on the way back, so maybe a little bit longer than just the minimum. Carl Crawford, ouch. Less said about that, the better. Let's just move on. David Eckstein, strain, he'll be out. Shouldn't hurt the Padres too much, stretches their depth a little bit, but already Everth Cabrera has kind of taken that role back. Eckstein, veteran leadership on a team that's winning, really shouldn't be a major injury for them and shouldn't be out much longer than the minimum. Justin Morneau had some tests done, not traveling with the team, that concussion. They're being very, very conservative with it. He evidently has a history of concussions, and haven't been able to find out a lot about that, but this is one of the complicating factors that we often see. Now, this is always more of a problem with football because, honestly, you have a lot more collisions and concussions there than you do in baseball. Still, it's something they're taking very, very seriously. Again, not traveling with the team. He's at least a week away, but things are progressing according to these tests with the specialists, so that's good. You certainly don't want him out for a long period of time if you're the Twins because that division very, very tight and White Sox playing very, very well. Let's go to the Red Sox section of this. Clay Buchholz comes back. He's off the DL. Jed Lowry, he's back off the DL after a long bout with mono. Dustin Pedroia and Victor Martinez were both out on the field taking swings. Now, Dustin Pedroia, we know with that broken foot, he was in a walking boot and taking swings. He was out fielding from his knees a couple weeks back. Let's not talk about how intelligent this might be to do. Certainly he had to be cleared to do it. You got to let him, he's got to be on a leash. But you got to give him a little bit of room on that leash. Hopefully nothing bad comes of this, and it's still in the boot, so we're still at least 10 to 15 days away from seeing him back. Martinez a lot closer, and if he comes out of that session without any problems with his thumb, then he could be back inside of a week. Last couple ones that I want to talk about are with the Mets. Carlos Beltran, in his 10 days back, since coming back just after the All-Star break, he's done pretty well. He hasn't required a lot of rest. He's running fairly well, though not stealing bases. It's just going pretty well, so that's got to be a big credit to him, his doctors, and to the Mets medical staff. And also Jose Reyes. Now, I've been going back and forth with some Mets fans, those Chicken Little Mets fans, for a while. But let's watch the results. Yes, they held him out for 4 days. We talked about why they did that, but the results so far, good. He hasn't had an exacerbation. He's playing pretty well. He's not showing any trouble with that oblique. I think this is going to work out for the Mets, and that's how I expected it. I'm Will Carroll from Baseball Prospectus. Thanks for giving me 5 minutes of your day.